this week we've been working very hard, weeding, mulching, hauling chips, raking up weeds, and trying to clear out the flower beds around our Florida house. And things turned out pretty good. I'm going to be showing you the video from before we did anything, just to remind you of what we were up against. And I'll show you a few pictures in between, and then kind of the big curb appeal reveal video at the end that shows you what it looks like now. We still have things, of course, that we want to do, and we didn't really try to do anything out behind the house because we'll kind of overhaul that next year. This year, we just wanted to get it cleaned up, spruced up a little bit, and I think you'll like the results. Thanks for watching. So here's some video from before we started working. You can see the tree just really need to be trimmed. These bushes, they looked great in that one corner of the flower bed, but the problem was they weren't spread out all the way across. There was a larger version of that plant on down at the end that was way too tall in front of the screens, and everything just looked like no one had lived here. And in fact, no one had lived here for a while. I do get distracted by some of the things that are around me here, but I'm trying to stay focused on the task at hand, and that's what we need to keep thinking about. Okay, so here, this poor little tree was in such bad shape. On the one side of the house, everything was it just looked like a wreck. It looked like it had been abandoned. This huge tree, I don't even know what this was because we got rid of it before I even looked up what that big tree was. But once we got rid of it, look what was behind it. The coolest cactus you ever saw was hiding behind that big, huge plant. So that was worth it. We pulled all the weeds out of this side of the house. This is the east side of the house. And the weeds were pretty easy to pull out. They're all kind of lying on top of the soil. And then I cut this purple flower, which is some sort of ground cover, I think. I cut that all the way back because I think that'll fill in real pretty there. We have this nice tree that's like the one on the other side of the house, up right by the front door. This purple, dark purple ground cover I pulled out of there. In fact, all those weeds I just yanked right out of there. And again, now we're back around to the front where this large Chinese ioxora plant is. And again, I pulled that thing out and I replanted the stumps on the other side of the house, so if it grows, it shouldn't be blocking anything. So this little tree was on the west side of the house, and the root ball was exposed. It was falling over. We had to tie it up to the screen, so I dug it up and I split it into 4 little baby trees. I dug 4 big gigantic holes, filled them with water, and started putting the trees in, but they're sitting in there nice and sturdy now. The biggest one does have a little bit of support there from a stick, but now we have a nice bed there with some chips in there, and when those trees fill in again, that's going to be some really nice shade for the screen porch, and we'll be able to watch the little geckos going up and down the tree. Now this is an interesting thing that we still have to deal with. Tim is going to have to put a little bit more gutter on there, but because for some reason where that white ends, that's the end of the gutter. So we have a bunch of water that pours out on the ground and makes holes in the ground back there, but we'll get that taken care of. The backyard is the same as before, except the clothesline is up now. Scooting on across the back, I did get that cleaned out, got some chairs set up outside. A deck is not really a good thing when it's made out of wood in Florida. It's all bent and bowed and needs to just pull out of there, but we'll take care of that next year. Now going around the side of the house, you can see it's much cleaner look now. I'm not sure what these first 2 little bushes on the left here are, but we'll see what happens when they come to life and bloom in the spring. We got the huge bush pulled out of there and the cactus revealed. You can see the stumps sticking up from where I moved the Chinese ioxera. I've planted a couple or three lavender plants in there. I'm not sure exactly what they'll do, but I hope that they fill in and have lots of lavender for me. And I've got some petals off of that cactus that I have tried to stick in the ground, hoping that they are going to take root there. And I did take the tops of two of the little pieces of trees that I had broken off and I put them into the ground next to the front door. You can see here this tree is all cleaned out at the bottom now. I've got some solar lights going. You'll get a chance to see at the end of the video what this looks like at night with the solar light on. I've got some really nice bushes planted in the front now. I did split up that sun-kissed bush into 5 plants and filled in with bushes that were called buttercups in between. We've got the chips in the front now. Our grass mowing person did come and mow the grass since I videoed before. You can see we have the new shutters up that look great. They're not all washed out and they're the right size. Our front sign was made by Art Puls, designed by Lindsay McNally at A&M Laser Gifts in Hastings, Michigan. I'm going to put his link in the description in case you'd like a sign like that. Getting back to what this looks like at night. Here we are with the solar lights on. You can barely see the little ones in the flower bed, but the lights around the trees look great. So we may fill in with a few more plants, especially around the east side of the house, but that's what it looks like for now.